Welcome to the Savvy Radio Show with your host, the Savvy Landlord. Up next is the best deal ever. On Fridays, check out all episodes on SavvyRadioShow.com.
Oh, here we go. A new title to the show today. It's called Your Best Deal. I'm bringing people back on the show that have experience, that have done deals. And, of course, I'm going back with one of my faves, Pat Pointon. He has, he has a radio show before, but he gave me this idea. You should interview your guys, bring them back a second time, maybe a year later, and say, hey, what's your best deal? So make it a quick episode, 5-10 minutes, covering your best deal. All right, Pat, so you're the first one. Always breaking ground, Brown. You've taught us this month on options. You've taught us this month on subject twos. We've raised money. Now, tell us how you did a deal.
Well, I'll give you three. I did a subject two deal one time in Yukon. My daughter worked with this lady, and they were having trouble making their payments. They sold me their house. My son Travis lived in it for about 8 years.
Acquired an asset for free.
And then he bought a different house. And long story short, I owned it 11 or 12 years. I bought it. It had about an $85,000 balance. When I sold it, it had about a $65,000 balance, and it had gone up to being worth about $119 or $120.
Wow.
And so I ended up walking away with about $30,000 after paying all the real estate commissions, and I never spent any money. I didn't give them any money down. It never was vacant. I never made any mortgage payments. My son made the mortgage payments in return for living there.
Yeah, it's like rent.
And I walked away with $30,000 and did no work.
Fabulous. All right, deal one. All right, deal number two. So it says a subject to success. All right, what's this one?
This one's just the best cash deal I guess I've done in a long time. My wife told me, she said, I'm told she's going to look at a house. She said, my God, don't buy no houses. She said, we're sitting on about 10 for sale. Don't buy no houses. I came in that night and she said, I can tell by looking at you, you bought a house.
It's like
I
candy.
said, before you get mad at me, just get in the car and let me take and show it to you. It was in Moore. It's 3-bedroom, brick, two bath, 2-car garage. In the most immaculate shape you have ever seen a house.
Moore's a hot area.
I mean, it was beautiful. This lady had plastic down over the carpet, so there was no wear on the carpet. We had to take the plastic up when we sold the house. We didn't. My son did mow the yard. Other than that, we did no work on it whatsoever. I thought I could sell it for $87,000, and I think she owed like $60,000. So I thought I'd make
$65,000.
No, I thought I'd sell it for about $87,000.
No, but what'd you offer her?
I think I bought it for $65,000 or such a matter. So I thought I'd make $20,000 after I paid closing costs and everything.
So how'd you get the deal?
Well, but my wife, back up a minute. My wife was a realtor at the time, and she sold it that first weekend for like $97,000. So we ended up making nearly $30,000 on it. We owned it less than 60 days from the time we bought it until we actually sold it. And we mowed the yard is the only thing I can recall that we ever did to it.
How'd you get that deal?
She called me off of the radio show. Okay. And she said, I went down and looked at her. She's a nice little old lady. And I said, you need a realtor. I'm going to buy it wholesale. Mm-hmm. She said, do I look stupid? And I said, no, ma'am. And she said, I have a family member that's dying. I need to go and nurse her. I'm going to sell it to you, or I'm going to sell it to one of those guys that buys ugly houses or somebody. If you don't want to buy it, just say so, and I'll call the next guy in the list. And I said, ma'am, I want to buy it.
I'm your
and
man.
I wrote it right there on the spot.
And then how did you come up with the number? You just asked her?
I just I asked her what she wanted, and she said, well, I'd like to have 70 or 75. And I said, well, I think it'll only sell for about 87. I got to make 12 or 15 or I can't do the deal. I said, I'll give you 65 today on the spot. Now, I was just living off of knowing my market. I didn't have time enough to do a bunch of damn research. Because I knew she was going to call somebody else.
And she made it very clear. And so you had a contract with you?
I'd never go anywhere without one. I got one in the car right this minute.
I love it.
I never go anywhere without a contract.
Get motivated, baby.
That's right.
All right. So that was a good retail flip.
That was just a total retail flip.
And she was happy.
Oh, she was happy.
She netted $5. I mean, and she didn't have to wait. You closed.
And she left that day. I mean, no, I say that day. That weekend, she moved out, and she was on her way.
And she handed the keys, and you were.
She actually closed by Federal Express.
Oh, she moved.
Yeah, she moved that weekend, but she closed because I had to get title work and stuff done on it.
Sure.
So it took 10 days or so for me to get her money to her. But she closed by Federal Express, but I mean, she left me the key that day.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah. All right, deal 2, number 3.
Oh, let's see. I did a subject to deal. I looked at the house. I wanted the house, but the people said, "Oh no, I can't take that. We want to sell it for cash." Our realtors told us we're going to get $18,000-$20,000 profit after we pay her. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, right.
And they're in the Air Force, and they're moving to South Carolina or somewhere because they're being transferred. Both of them are in the Air Force. And I said, "Well, just consider me to be your fallback position. If you run out of time and you haven't sold it." Then call me. I said, I wish you only the best. I hope it works out for you. But if it doesn't, I'll take it off your hands instantly. Just give me a call. It was the day before the opening of rifle season, and I was already set to go out in western Oklahoma on a deer hunt. They called me and said, we're calling you back, and we're ready to do your deal. So I was a day late getting to western Oklahoma for my deer hunt, but I bought it. My wife and I lived in it for 6 or 7 years. I sold it for $17,000 or $18,000 profit. I got them to throw in the riding lawnmower. I got them to throw in the weed eater. I got them to throw in a sectional, sofa, and a washer and dryer.
And you acquired 80. How much was that? 100,000, 80.
It sold for about 117, I think.
$117,000
and I think about $100,000 on it.
On the mortgage.
Yeah.
But you acquired the asset for free.
Yeah, and I lived in it 6 years.
Okay, so that was. I remember that time. That's when I had a mentor, and you just acquired a property. Yeah. And that you just moved in. And it's just, when you look at it, when you think about it logically, what my mentor was telling me that was mentored under you, no closing.
No closing, yeah.
Take over the payments.
No
and that's it.
No down payment.
No down payment,
Matter of fact, I got their sectional. It was in my living room. I mean, they left it. I got their riding lawnmower, which I used on it, another rental property. I got their weed eater. I got their hoses. I got their barbecue grill.
Wow. Man, that's exciting. I just get so excited and juiced up, and I love.
Last and not least, I bought the house for all cash one time, and I said, "Well, if I'm going to give you that for the house, then you got to leave the baby grand piano."
And what'd you do with the baby grand?
I called up Jenkins Music and came and got it.
How much did you make on that?
I don't remember now, $3,000 or something.
I have one deal that I got a pop-up trailer with it.
There you go.
And I wrote that on the contract, and then I was like, man, I went and cleaned it up and sold it for $500. I put it on Craigslist. I even delivered it to the guy in Edmond. I'm like, I got to get this out of my face. And $500 and had title and everything.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, that's a great show today. Man, Pat, how long you been doing real estate?
Oh, I'd hate to tell you, I'm almost 70 years old, and I grew up in the business, so I've been doing it
for your whole life.
And
and to this day, 70 years later, you still like a firecracker, man.
Yeah, I still like it.
I love it. With the heart surgery.
I'd rather buy it than anything. I don't really like renting it. I love buying it. I like selling it.
The acquisition.
I love buying it.
All right. Well, man, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for being the first one on the hot deal, or your best deal ever so far. Of course, in a couple months, there'll be a better deal. Maybe I think 2016 is going to be the year for private money. 2015 was hot. I can tell just from the buzz around town. People that I wouldn't think would loan money out of their IRA are loaning money out of their IRA. I'm involved with the IRA. People are calling me and say, hey, you're successful in what you do. I'll loan you some money out of my IRA. How's 8%? I didn't have to negotiate. That's a decent number. They're happy. They're getting 3 right now. The economy's crumbling.
I pay 6, and the reason is I've been raising private money for a long time.
Sure, yeah, a lot more
and
experience.
I just simply tell them that's what I pay. If you like it, great.
Yeah.
If you don't, then I understand.
Yeah, I understand. Anyway, it's been a pleasure. Pat, have a great day, and whatever you do all day, buy assets.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at SavvyRadioShow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.